guys, it's Melanie. So last week we did a Ulta holiday anti-haul and I promised you guys a Sephora version. That's what we're doing today. Honestly, I could have put so many things in this video, but I tried to limit myself so that I wouldn't be talking forever. This is the first year in a very long time where I have not been really intrigued or like super excited to buy a ton of things. I think it's just because I've become a little bit more particular. I do find that the older I get, the more I value quality over quantity. And I have seen a lot of these different sets in store. I did recently shop the Sephora Friends and Family sale, and a lot of these things have already been released inside of at least my store. So I was able to play with some of these things, and I just really don't think that a lot of this stuff is for me. Now, that's not to say that I don't think you guys should invest in some of these things. That is obviously totally up to you. And there are a few things on this list here that I still haven't entirely talked myself out of, but after seeing them in person, it made me think twice about putting them on my actual VIB shopping list. So I'm just gonna give you guys my different reasons for deciding against these things, and maybe that'll help you decide whether they are a good fit for you or not. So first thing I'm going to show you guys is this, let's see, how many are there in here? 1, 2, it's a quint. 5 is a quint, right? It is a quint of the Natasha Denona eyeshadows. So there's two different options here. There's Joya and Aries. Number 1, number 2. So these are supposedly 5 soft buildable eyeshadows. Now, as far as Natasha Denona goes, this is one of her more affordable eyeshadow palette options. As you guys know, most of the other ones are pretty expensive. Like I think somewhere in like the $150 to $200 range depending on the palette. Don't quote me on those prices, but they are a lot more expensive. Now, you are getting quite a number of shadows in all of those palettes, so does it pencil out in the end? Probably, but the thing that made me decide against these eyeshadow palettes, even though I do kind of have an interest in trying her formula, is that these colors are just a little too colorful for me. So I realize that they are meant to be a lot more fun, but I think they're just a little bit too fun for my everyday tastes. So even though they're only $48, and if you were to purchase them during VIB, you could get, you know, obviously the 20% off. For me, I'm just not gonna reach for the vast majority of colors in either of these palettes, so this just doesn't make it worthwhile for me at all. So I'm gonna pass on that. Next I'm gonna show you guys is something that I almost put on my list. It was really close. I did see these in store, and these are a decent deal, I will say. I love the Marc Jacobs High Shine Gloss Lip Lacquers. They are the most beautiful formula. I have a couple in my collection, and they're perfect. Sugar Sugar is one of the ones that I have, and the other one, is it called Pretty Thing? I can't remember. It's a really pretty nude though. I love them. This set you are getting 5, but they're minis. They're pretty small. It's $39. Again, I think if you're buying them during VIB, this would probably be a good thing to invest in. But what made me change my mind is that honestly, these 3 shades right here, so this purple one, this kind of bright fun fuchsia one, and this one right here, which had a lot of like metallic shine to it. These are not shades that I would wear. Yes, I could totally gift them, but if I were to buy a set like this, I would just feel like I would want these to be colors that I would actually wear. You know, I just don't know what kind of gift for who I'm purchasing for the holiday time, who I could give these to, that would also appreciate these colors, if that makes sense. These two shades are gorgeous. I believe one of these nudes is actually exclusive to this set because I was not able to find a single of it, you know, off to the side where they have all of the regular high shine lacquer glosses. So I was kind of bummed because I really love the shade. I think it's called Naked or something. It's beautiful, and if they ever do come out with it on its own, I will definitely be purchasing it. But yeah, $39 for just two minis, it's just a little bit too much for me, so I talked myself out of that. I also talked myself out of this Hidden Treasure Ready 18.0 eyeshadow palette from Bare Minerals. I normally really like these Bare Mineral eyeshadow palettes, but I've decided that this year I would go ahead and stay away from them because I have so many from previous years, and honestly, a lot of the colors that I have in my previous eyeshadow palettes from other holiday collections are the same ones or very similar ones that are in this particular palette. They are great quality, and for those of you that have never tried the Bare Minerals eyeshadow palettes during the holiday time, I find the formula to be the most similar to their regular formula than any other brand, really, to be honest. These are beautiful. They are pigmented. They are creamy. They go on really well. There is some fallout, but this is a very pretty palette. But for $46, I'm going to go ahead and save my money this year and just continue to use the ones that I have from previous years because, like I said, a lot of the shades are extremely similar, but if you've never tried these, they're really nice. I don't know if I'm saving you guys any money with that one, but I talked myself out of it, so. This I was a little bit bummed about because I kind of wanted to try these Rainforest of the Sea lipsticks, and I was hoping they would come out with a set for the holiday time. However, the colors they chose are just far too dark for me. Now, if you have a deeper, darker skin tone, these would probably be beautiful on you. But for me, with my love of just pinky nudes, these didn't fit within that. The colors that you're getting in here are Marg's, Jet Set, Soaked, and Sandals. These are 12-hour lipsticks, so they are longer wearing. They swatch beautifully. I played with them in store. They're very pretty colors. They're just not for me. So I was really hoping that they would come out with like a nude version for lighter skin tones. But again, these colors are pretty. And if you are someone who likes a bolder lip, this might be a great option for you for 23 bucks. They're pretty small, but they're, you know, they're just not my colors, so I'm gonna skip out on those. Other things I'm skipping out on, let's go back to some more eyeshadow palettes. Eyeshadow palettes are really what I tend to like immediately get sucked into, so that's why I have a lot of them featured here. The Kat Von D Saint and Sinner eyeshadow palette, I'm not gonna buy it. I do think that it's very good quality. I was able to play with it. I just wouldn't wear most of the shades on this side of the palette. They are just a little bit too colorful for me. These shades are gorgeous, and I would probably wear a lot of these, but for $62, if I'm only using half the palette, that's just not worthwhile to me, so I'm gonna pass on that one. I'm also passing on the Fenty Beauty. I gotta say, I have not really had even the slightest interest in purchasing anything from Fenty. The Sephora inside JCPenney at my mall has like a ton of the Fenty stuff, and I had a chance to swatch things and play with things, and it just didn't really draw me in. And when I saw these eyeshadows, I think had I seen this particular palette maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I would have been like, yes, you are coming home with me. But I am much more of a matte and more muted neutral color person at this point in my life, and these are just a little bit too shimmery and a little bit too colorful for me for everyday wear. So for $59, I'm gonna leave this one behind. Another one I'm leaving behind for that very reason is the Marc Jacobs The Wild One Iconic Eyeshadow Palette. My regret is actually not purchasing the palettes from the last couple of years because they were just a little bit more neutral, but I was put off by the $99 price tag, which this is a spendy palette. There's no two ways about it. The eyeshadow formula is fantastic. The colors are very pretty, but once again, there's a lot of brights in here that I just wouldn't do anything with for a daily basis. And for $99, this is just not worthwhile. I do love this kind of gaudy zebra packaging though. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of sucked into that. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Kits. Okay, almost. Still don't entirely know that I've written this one off. I think I would definitely go for the Radiant over the Gradient. The Gradient is definitely geared towards deeper, darker skin tones, which I think is fantastic that they have an option for that. And then for the more pasty girls, they do have this kind of lighter, more light skin friendly, I guess, color combination over here. So I think the colors are very pretty. The only reason that I have it on a anti-haul is because I do have a lot of blush palettes and I need to get busy working my way through those or decluttering them. I didn't want to add another blush palette this year because I'm having trouble going through the ones that I purchased during previous holiday seasons, so it just didn't feel right going for this for $30. Now, if something fabulous comes along early next year, like when the new releases come out, who knows, all bets might be off. But for the time being, I'm passing on that one. I'm also passing on the Tarte one this year. I did see this in store, and honestly, the highlighting shades that are in here are really glittery. Really glittery. It's getting good reviews. Out of the 72, like a lot of people are loving this. And the one that I have from last year was great quality and I love it. I just need to be using it more. The colors are very similar once again. So for $44, I'm gonna save my money and I'm gonna use the one that I purchased last year and focus on, you know, using that one up. I'm gonna skip over here to this palette because this is the one that I'm still not 100% about anti-hauling, but I wanted to talk you guys through my thought here. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Volume 3 palette. I regret not getting the last two that were put out, but I saw this one in person in store. I loved everything about it. The only thing that I wouldn't use regularly would be the bronzer in here. However, I loved every other highlighting and blush product in here. It does come with the diffused light, and then there is I believe this is a strobing powder, and then this is another one of their ambient lighting powders, and then two of the blushes, obviously. I loved everything. Beautiful formulation, exactly like the rest of their products in the regular line. It's a beautiful palette. But the pan sizes are so small. I am talking very small. And I knew that they would be because I know from looking at last year's in store and the year before that they were small. But they're too small for me to justify this. I'll be totally honest, for $80, that's a really hard pill to swallow when it comes to like the actual size of the pans. They're so small. Like I couldn't get my particular blush brush in here without hitting either the bronzer or this other shade over here on this side if I was just trying to get the middle one. And that kind of bothers me. So I think for right now, I have this on my don't buy it list. Let me know what you guys think. I know my friend Susan bought it and she said it's amazing, but one of her gripes also was that the pans were super small. And once I saw it in store, I just can't justify it, you guys. A couple more things. The Pat McGrath Labs Mothership 3 eyeshadow palette in the Subversive. I think this is really pretty, and I kind of want to try some Pat McGrath stuff, but you guys, this price tag is killing me. $125. That's nuts. That's a lot of money for 10 eyeshadows. So this is just going to be a no for me. It's getting good reviews. It is an online only, so this is not something that I can really swatch in store. I'm sure it's lovely, but I can't get past the $125. Let's go down here to this Hourglass Ambient Metallic Strobe Lighting Palette. If this wasn't their strobe formula, and this was like the ambient lighting formula with, you know, just the regular ambient lighting powders, which I do realize they still have in stock. They still have their regular palette, but those are just a little bit too dark for me. But if they had come out with some new colors in just the regular ambient lighting formula and this was the packaging, I would totally go for it. I have the blushes that came in this very similar packaging that have the 3. I love that thing. I grab for it constantly. I use it when I'm traveling. I love the formula of their blushes. And had they come out with another blush palette of this size, I would have gone for it in a heartbeat. But this strobe formula is just a little tiny bit too shimmery for me and my enlarged pores. I definitely prefer the ambient lighting powders because they are more of a glow from within. These have a little too much shimmer and shine to them for like my personal preference, but these are beautiful. And if you have always wanted to try this strobe formula, $62 would be the way to go here. Still expensive, not gonna lie. $62 for 3 highlighters probably seems nuts to most people, but I would say this would be the most economical way to try these because these pan sizes are much more reasonable than these pan sizes for the Sky right here. I mean, these are tiny. Another thing that I'm passing on that I almost put in my cart and I'm still a little bit about it is the Smashbox Drawn In Decked Out Shadow and Highlighting Palette Set. These 2 palettes are actually available individually in their regular collection. I swatched them in store and compared to the regular palettes, exactly the same. The only thing that stopped me is that I don't really need this highlighting part here. I could give this as a gift, but I already have shades very similar to this in both my Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette and my Too Faced just peachy matte eyeshadow palette. Very similar shades. And then these are kind of taupes and purpley taupes, which I love. And I love to have a variety of these. But I also have a lot of those, so I don't necessarily need more of these. $39 is a really good deal for this set, but I'm gonna go ahead and just hold off on it for now. It's totally something that I could see going on sale after the holidays, so maybe I'll pick it up when it's on sale. I don't know. I don't need it. That's the thing. I don't need it. So, this. Okay. I just thought this was so impractical. This just really honestly seems so impractical to me. I also saw this in store. This is the Tarte Limited Edition Buried Treasure Eyeshadow Palette. I didn't even bother putting in all of the other like Too Faced and Tarte stuff into this anti-haul because you will know from the Ulta version that I'm not drawn into any of the Tarte or Ulta stuff. Tarte or Too Faced stuff, sorry, this year. But this one really just, I kind of thought the packaging was a little bit silly. These round, I guess they're meant to look like bubbles maybe, I don't know. But the texture, there's too much texture here. Like you would have a hard time getting your brush in there to really pick the product up. Some of these sizes are significantly smaller than some of these other ones. I don't like stuff like this. For some reason, this just irritates me. Like, just put it in some square or rectangular pans and call it a day. I mean, I get the creativity, but I also didn't like the formula of these. They didn't feel the same as the eyeshadow formula from the Tartelette or the Tartelette in Bloom. So definite pass for me on this guy. You know, if not for the formulation, then for this like bubble situation here. I just wasn't into it. This I was tempted by. However, I already have one of these shades. This is the Bite Beauty, the Perfect Bite Amuse Bouche lipstick set. I already have Sugarcane. I've kind of wanted to try Honeycomb, but if I really want to, I would rather purchase the full size of that, because Rhubarb and Cayenne, which are this shade right here and this shade right here, I would not wear on any kind of regular basis. This is $25. I feel like it's a good price for the set, and this is a fantastic gift. But for me personally, because I would really only wear 2 of the shades, once again, this is one that just wouldn't do it for me. I would love it if they had 2 options where they offered like a set of just nudes, various shades of nudes, and then some, you know, colorful shades in the other set. So maybe colors like this, like brights, or, you know, like different shades of red or whatever. But when they do like the half and half, that just, it doesn't make it worthwhile for me personally, but I realize that for a lot of other people, that definitely, that makes it fun for them. You know, if you love both, then there you go. And this is the last thing. Again, there was so much stuff I could have put in here. There was honestly quite a bit of skincare, but I mean, I can definitely do another version of this maybe in another couple weeks, because they're going to be releasing more things. But yeah, just for the time being, I'm going to leave it with this as being the last one. This is the Ciate London Chloe Morello Beauty Haul by Ciate London Volume 2. I'm passing on this because, once again, most of the shades are very similar to what I can find in my other palettes. And, you know, for $49, this just didn't really draw me in. It was nice that they have a lip product in here, a mascara, as well as a liner. I do think this would make a very nice gift for somebody, especially if they are a fan of Chloe Morello here on YouTube. You know, this would be a really amazing gift to give to somebody, but for me personally, this just didn't do it for me. So I'm going to pass on this one. I do like the formula of the Chloe Morello eyeshadow palette. I've played with it a few times, but once again, once I saw it in person, I just saw so many similarities to palettes that I already have. You know, these oranges and reds and, you know, kind of pukey shades, those are in basically every single eyeshadow palette these days. So it wasn't worthwhile for me personally. But anyway, I will link all this stuff down below for you. Go take a peek. You might decide that you love this, any of these things, or all of these things, and want them all. But for me personally, I just wanted to share my reasons for avoiding these particular products. Again, a few of the things I still am kind of waffling about, but for the most part, I think that I'm going to end up passing on basically all of this stuff. So let me know what you are anti-hauling for yourself from Sephora this holiday season, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.